Welcome back to Fire Drinking Coffee Podcast, guys. We are your hosts,
Scott Dance
and Michael Sutherland. We'll actually be debuting, before we get into it, a new segment today at the end of the show. So make sure to stick around between when we finish with the concept of the day and our ad read. We'll have a new segment. So make sure you guys stick around, check it out. So let's get into it. So hierarchy is big in jiu-jitsu, right? Like we've talked about this on the show. And if you actually break that down a little bit and start getting and breaking down like those layers, there's actually a lot more you can learn because there's a lot of people with a lot of different experience in the jiu-jitsu world. And even though that experience might not be in jiu-jitsu, they actually have experience in other things, whether that's like the professional world or other sports or, just life in general. So let's talk about learning from everyone in the gym. So Scott, I'm sure, you're a black belt, right? You're generally in a room, you tend to sit at like in the traditional hierarchy at like the top. But I'm sure you've had experience with this because like I have too, where like there's people that if you don't let yourself, you might not be able to, they might have something to teach you, right? So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, dude. I guess my initial reaction is after 21 years of doing this, doing it more and more involvement and more time on the mat. As I've gone through that 21 years, I'm on the mat now more than I was back then, is what I'm saying. Funny, we're going to talk about this later, but you can get stuck into a rhythm where you do the same things over and over again. You do it 21 years, you're going to learn about how you fight, in quotes, and your style and what you're good at. And, I think you'd written down ego as a part of this process. I guess this is my initial reaction, but one way that I think hits this thread from my perspective is that if you get into this training habit of constantly just doing what you always do really well with the purpose of trying to like win all your training rounds, and that can become a little flat as time goes on. If you become a black belt, and like you said, depends on the room you're in, which is going to be a big part of what we'll discuss here, but if you're the black belt training with the same guys over and over again, or like we'll call it your house, in your academy, and you just can beat everyone up, if that's the case constantly, and you're not seeking out new ways, we can call them mindsets, I guess, like new goals perhaps for training, you're leaving opportunity to enhance your overall game, your overall style. It's like basically what I'm saying. It's connected to this point, which is that we were talking before the show. Like there's the cool thing about jiu-jitsu is that it's so dense and full of different little avenues you can take training and styles and hold. Like take leg locks, for example. Like if you're like historically not been a leg locker like me, for example, and when you have an opportunity to go with like a good blue belt or a pro belt or whatever, someone who does not your rank, you're sparring with that dude, and let's just say it's like like a marathon rule, like a sparring class or something like that, where all you're really doing is sparring. You might be I think you are leaving opportunity on the table to expand your overall knowledge of the game if you constantly just seek to shut down what these other dudes who maybe overall aren't as good as you, because so you have the ability to shut down a good purple belt's leg lock game entirely just so you can impose what you do day in, day out on that individual. While that might be like a a low dose of a boost to your ego to just say after the same class for years and months, beat him again. Yippee, go me. It might not be as fun. It might not be as challenging. It's not as rewarding as saying, "Hey, you know what? For a little while, let's let this guy play his game. And if I get tapped out, big deal. If I do get tapped out, it gives me the opportunity to like look into what the purple belt, by the way, probably wants to do sometimes too. It doesn't always have to be about you in training, especially like if you're a black belt or a coach. You should fairly often indulge some of these guys and give them a chance to explore what they're good at too. It's like, do you have to win every single round with like your teammates too, by the way, especially if you're a coach, if you're a black belt and a coach, like you think you have a duty to allow these guys to like, if you can mash someone on the ground for 6 minutes nonstop, more power to you, yippee. But you might not be that fun of a guy to train with in general. And some of these dudes, they might not, they probably won't say no to you because you're a black belt. If you ask them to train, they'll say, all right, here we go. But I know what's going to happen. But like, mix it up a little bit. Like it's like to the point, there's value for that other person in being able to actually expand what they do with you instead of just getting crushed from every position all the time. And then, by the way, you get the chance to actually see them play out something different too. And that teaches you something.
Yeah. In the words we have written on our outline here, right? Check your ego. And I know that's like a cliche in jiu-jitsu, the like check your ego at the door. But like I look at this as like the constructive, like here's actually here's
a practice of checking your ego.
Here's like what checking your ego should be accomplishing. Like it's not about like being willing to lose on the mat. Well, it partially, but like that's not what it's about. It's not about like check your ego because you're going to get beat up. It's like, hey, actually, if you don't worry about being better than the other people in the room and you like put that aside, because like ego is a part of it. It's fine. Like it's okay that like you're going to have an ego involved with your success and progress.
Yeah.
That's a normal thing. But what we're saying in this case is if you check your ego and actually say, hey, I already know I'm better than, like, I know I beat this guy, or I know that my rank is higher than this person, rather than trying to prove to them that I'm the better grappler on the mat every single day. Like, yeah, sometimes you got to let them know, but, like rather than being like, hey, I'm just going to show up every day. I'm going to beat up John. And not Big John, not having it, but like
some random guy named
Johnny Jiu-Jitsu. I'm going to show up every day. I'm going to beat him up, and
that's
just go home. That's my day. I won. I'm the best. That's one. He's not getting better. Your Johnny Jiu-Jitsu isn't getting better. You're probably not getting better either, at least at a snail's pace, right? Because you're just smashing the same dude over and over and over again. Because, a lot of the time you do have the same training partner every day, right? Like, that's a pretty common occurrence. But so...
It's a slow progression, like you said, if that's what you're doing. And if I can say one thing, too, about the ego idea, like, it's like, we're inherently, like, ego-driven human beings. I would challenge people, like, it's actually even more constructive in a positive way for your ego to reframe it along the lines of what we were talking about, like your training, because doing this, like, weirdly, paradoxically, if you're suppressing your ego, it makes you better at what you're doing. Overall, if you seek to go in and learn a little bit more often, seeking to win and seeking to learn can both be done. At the same time, if you've disciplined yourself to learn how to do that harmoniously. But I would say to people, and this is why we talk about competition, it's been about 9 minutes, Mike, I brought it up. Maybe a little more than 9 minutes, but
we took a little bet before this.
Yeah, when we talk about competition,
when it would come up.
I just say that to say, like, if you have, like, this is to me, and we've talked about this, it's this thread of like the psychology behind why you train and what you're doing that I like about competition is that it gives you the purpose. Like in a competition setting, that's where you get to really express your ego, like really impose, like, I'm gonna, like John talked about.
Yeah,
on the episode,
that's the time to be.
That's the time to do it.
Super ego driven, yeah.
Right,
that's pure ego.
and so doing this means, like, it kind of, I think it appropriately frames how you practice into when I'm in the training room, like you're always going to have a chance to express like what you're good at when you're training too. And like, you should do that too, of course. Now, even when you're doing the new thing, you should be trying hard, like if we're doing a leg lock exchange with a guy who's not ranked the same as me, but he's maybe better at leg locks than me, which, by the way, that's another thread that we talked about, which happens all the time too. It's a good thing. You're obviously going to try hard to like do well in that exchange, but with the awareness that this guy might be better than you and that you've intentionally taken that risk to try to explore and learn. But like that makes you that supports your big picture ego down the road in a more appropriate environment, like a competition, to express that, because you're taking the time in your weekly routine to educate yourself, not just say, I'm still the guy in the training room, which we've beaten that concept many times to the ground.
Definitely. I mean, we've talked about what we talked about on the sandbagging episode. We talked
so many episodes.
Yeah. And so like you brought up, training with that guy who's a lower belt, which I think that's a big part of this, and about like the checking your ego thing, right? Like a lot of this is, hey, we're going to train with this lower belt and we have to get something out of it. Like, all right, well, how do we do that? Well, if you can just smash them, if you're playing your A game, smashing this dude, they can't do anything, doesn't work. But this person might also, like you said, they could be they might have decided to devote the entire 4 or 5 years they've done jiu-jitsu to exclusively doing leg locks.
Mm-hmm.
And you might have trained for 12 years and just started doing leg locks.
Mm-hmm.
They have hours, mat hours in that situation, that position, doing those moves that you don't have yet. And, despite the fact that you're a brown belt, a black belt, that purple belt is still better at it than you. And you have to be willing to accept that, like, hey, I'm the newbie, I'm the rookie in this situation. This person, it's their turn to teach me how to do this.
Yeah.
And
that's a rewarding experience.
Yeah. And like,
they'll appreciate it too.
Yeah. They're going to appreciate, because they're also going to get better, because they're going to have to, and we'll definitely talk more about this, but they're going to have to explain to you what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be able to show it to you. And then you guys could kind of workshop it, and you might have some other, experience in other parts, or you might be better at like a different aspect of the sport that you can then use to translate it, right? Or improve their game too. Because you might be, hey, maybe you're really good at bolos or shin to shin guard, or like just maybe really good at butterfly guard, and you can now take what you know about that, translate it, and apply it to what they're teaching you, and then make their game even better. And you kind of create this like little powwow of, improvement going on.
Yeah.
And you can do that in a bunch of different positions, but like a lot of jiu-jitsu, the concepts translate. So you can use that like knowledge share to improve both sides of the party. It's not just you taking from what they're showing you, right?
Yep.
Like you can still teach them, if maybe that helps you do this, because you feel like you're not just getting lectured by a lower belt if you still haven't broken down that hierarchy barrier in your brain. But yeah, I mean, like, heck, I go to classes that are taught by lower belts twice a week sometimes, and it doesn't matter. They know things I don't know. They do things I don't do. I have a very specific game because I compete. Like I do very specific things that they do other specific things. Like they're doing these things with a reason. And so I'll roll with them. And sometimes I just have to be like, all right, hey, I'm going to lose. That's fine. Or this is going to be a lot harder than if I just played my A game. I'm going to play my B game. We're going to explore what they're doing and try to figure it out. Heck, in some cases, it's my D game. It's not great, and like, all right, we're going to explore what they're trying to do, and we're going to try to figure that out and troubleshoot this, whether it's to do what they're doing or to counter what they're doing. So, especially when it's younger guys, because they are playing meta stuff, which is a whole nother can of worms, right? They're playing meta games at this point. Yeah, I mean, like, so you gotta break those ranks down.
Don't let it become a barrier to this is why I brought up the goals in competition, because like I think it just gives you like a true north for like why you're continually doing this. It's a way to do that. You could just as easily have a true student attitude all the time, and I think some of the best black belts have that. but don't let it become a barrier to you. I think this ultimately makes you a better training partner too. When all the rounds aren't completely and utterly about you, it's weird. Like when you're not competing, it's weird that they're completely, that you would go in with that framework. But then again, whatever. Maybe we interview some people who don't compete sometime and get their psychology. And so for some of these folks, that is their competition. So whatever, no problem. But all I would say, even to that audience, is like, as I suppose if we're talking about like the framework of like being like a high ranked guy with an open mind to, I was going to say acquiesce, to allow scenarios that they're not apex in to develop so they can play around and learn more stuff. If that's the framework that we're messing around with, I think it kind of is.
It's one of them.
It's one of them,
yeah,
right?
We have
it's
a couple of different things.
What's different when you're a blue belt or a white belt? When you're like, oh man, like everyone here is going to teach me something. It's like, I don't really have a choice.
It's definitely like,
maybe they do that to the white belts.
The top guy, the guys who are kind of like the better ones in the room.
We brought up the ego. It's like usually that's like when you get promoted, like that's just kind of when it starts to develop. I'd say that to say that, if you don't, some days of the week you want to go in, and that's why I brought up competition. Maybe you're going to be competing in a couple months and you're like, what I'll tell my competitors to do a lot of times is to segment their training rounds. This, again, marathon rolling style classes where it's going to be like a good block, an hour or more, to get a bunch of sparring rounds. And I'll recommend people to like split up their rounds between A game, and then we can call it B game. I kind of call it like a round you want to win to exercise your game plan, because there's a skill to that of like being able to impose and win the round that a competitor needs, because you need to learn how to do that. But then you juxtapose that either like, if there's like 8 rounds, it's like round 1 is win, round 2 is explore, learn, flow.
Yeah,
move.
we've talked about it before.
Or half and half. Structure that however you want. But yeah, we've talked about
50-50 rule.
Just a concept of like, you can do it however you want. Like maybe you go in and you're like, all right, maybe you've seen your bracket in like 4 weeks and you're like, I've got to win 4 times to get a gold medal. So maybe even just for my conditioning and just to have that psychology of, I need to win 4 times in a row to get that gold medal. You could go into an 8-round sparring class and say, let me win the first 4 rounds, and the last 4 rounds, I'll fuck around and I'll play around with my friends. Or 5 or 6 if you really need that conditioning. I gotta overdo it. But you get what I'm saying. Because
I want to throw like a fire drinking coffee stamp on that system. We'll call it I like to think of like the 50-50 rule of like execution versus exploration.
Ooh.
Yeah, you like that? Because I like it. Executing the game plan for half your rounds, and you're exploring
the sport that you want to win.
You're exploring just the art, right? Like sport and art. But
I've had this I think I kind of had to develop some of that myself out of necessity, being in a coaching / like head coaching position for a long time, where I'll be on the mat in my own academy and I'll do that. And I have to like challenge myself to not just try to crush everyone, because I also coach these guys. Yeah. And so I think about them and I care about like what they need too. So like, I think it's a good way to, if you're maybe with this same thread where it's like, you're that black belt, you're maybe a head coach or something, and ego and identity becomes kind of mandatory in a sense. You have a profile, but at the same time, you're responsible for helping people. So like, hey, it came sort of easy to me because I had no other choice but to focus on the squad too. Just remember, you're doing a job for them too. It's like you're still a coach. So help these people, not just beat them into the dust. Yeah. You'll still do that sometimes. I'm not, like people listening kind of know that too.
Every so often they kind of like, they expect it, and they know it might happen, and like,
hey, and by the way,
beating them up, but
you know what I mean. And by the way, too, like a healthy, mature group of adult males or females or whatever who know each other pretty well, they'll know when you're like allowing them to. If your ego is so fragile, like it's not a big deal. Like people don't. Who cares? Is really, truly like who cares? Go learn, but. I promise you that, like, my purple belts, if they get me in something, they know. They know. Maybe they actually got it, and I'm like, but I won't let them know if they.
Yeah, that's my secret. You have built-in ego protection, right?
My final Jedi mind trick.
They don't know.
I don't want them to know.
They have to sit there and guess.
But I think they'll know. And again, that's just like a last ditch ego stroking thing. Who cares, man? But yeah, like make it about them sometimes too.
Yeah, I mean that's
more.
super important. And like actually, so that I had that thought in my head, right? So the letting them work thing.
You don't have to tell someone I'm letting you work.
Well, when
they know.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely don't tell them because now you're just
it's condescending.
Yeah, now you're protecting your ego, right? Like
right.
you have to decide before the round starts that you're gonna let them work. You don't get to start you don't get to decide.
You can do it mid-round. Sometimes, if I may.
Let me.
Okay, go ahead.
You don't get to decide once they start getting the better of you that you're now I'm going to let him work.
I get all frustrated.
Then you're not checking your ego at that point. That's just you protecting your ego because you're like,
he didn't
actually, you know what? I'm letting him work now. So
you're right. You have to know.
Just to frame that. You have to decide.
Intentions. Yeah.
Like, yeah, if you're on top and you're beating them, it's a different story, right? Like if you're smashing them and you decide like, all right, well, like I could sit here and smash him for the next 2 minutes, or I could present like a reversal for them and then allow them to work.
Yeah.
That's a different thing because the intentionality, right? Intention is important.
I know exactly what you mean, dude. And that, by the way, if I may, that could even be a better way to structure the 50-50 split too, where you're like, hey man, like I already won this match. It's minute 90. We got 4 minutes left to go. Or whatever, 3.5 minutes left to go in the round. Like, cool. So I won that round. I'm moving to the semifinal. If you're using that, like, that
hit your sub and then flip it.
Yeah, dude, give him a chance to work the last 3 minutes because maybe that's the only round you get with that guy before you go to the next training partner. So then you're like, yeah, cool, did it, subbed him, won that round, moving to the next round. Like if you're playing that tournament, if you're a competitor, and you're like, yeah, I got to get conditioned.
Now we're moving in the bullpen.
Yeah. And then, hey, just food for thought for people to think about how to like also manage their energy. Cool.
Yeah.
Do that. And then cool, choked him out in 28 seconds. That was really nice. And we got 4.5 more minutes or whatever. Let's play around. Next round I got Mike anyway, so I'm gonna think about Mike too. Now I gotta leg lock Mike. You know what I mean? Like it's like you get what I'm saying.
Shoot, Mike's gonna try to attack me.
Well, I always part of what I'll do when I'm in like a training environment, like where I need to get my fitness and my conditioning because I still compete. And so I do need that challenge. I'll book my guys in advance. I call it I make reservations. Like I say, hey, brother, like, can we do the third round or your third round? I'll book people. So I know that I'm like, good. Like I'm gonna get this black belt. He's coming around the corner. That's gonna be a tough one. In between that, maybe I take a rest round, or maybe I'll whatever. I'll make sure that I'm being held accountable in my training sessions. It's just a fun little weird thing that I'm mentioning here for people to like think about how they spend their time. People do this stuff. I'm sure you do it too. Where you're like, all right, John's next round. Big ass John. You're like, fuck, okay.
That's going to be tough.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to have to work.
Yeah, all right.
He's probably going to try to smash me.
Maybe I get like the 145-pound solid purple belt for a minute here. It's not going to like be as physical. It'll be a little more intellectual of a round, hard, but I'll get out of it without with all my fingers and my toes and a little bit of gas in the tank for that big giant coming at me in a minute.
Which the John thing does, you can't... You also can't decide you're going to let them work and literally just like lay there and let them smash you.
Yeah, you want to be a good training partner. Don't be a piece of shit.
I could tell myself that I'm letting John work and just let him smash me, but that's not really. I still need to try, right? Like
you don't play with your
level.
Don't play with your food.
Try.
Yeah. Make it a valuable use of time for that guy too.
Yeah, like you're not letting them work if you're just dead fishing and just not doing anything at all.
Well, then it stops becoming training at that point. It becomes something else.
Yeah, just weird.
That's still an ego thing, I suppose. Or maybe you're so gassed that you're like, all right, brother, like, I'm going to survive for a minute and just catch my breath. There's so many ways to structure your training.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you could do there. Which another thing, when we're talking about like competition, right? Like, and we use the word execution, like the execution, like you're in a phase where you're refining and executing your game plan rather than necessarily like trying to learn new things, right? Like you're not, especially in that last 4 weeks, like you're not learning new shit in the last 4 weeks. Just like you don't try new shit, one of the rules of the road. But just like you're executing, you're trying to make that game plan better, but the other people in the room that aren't competing or at least not then, right?
Mhm.
They're still, all right, hey, we're going to gather knowledge. We're trying to get
Mhm.
better. We're trying to learn new things so that we have other things to look at and try to expand our game. And so these guys might actually be picking up on things better than you are, just as like another aspect of learning from the others in the room.
Because they have that mindset.
Yeah, because their mindset's
different.
set up for that.
Right.
Because like I know when I'm in that last stretch, like I'm not
You're
trying,
locked in.
I'm not trying to pick up anything new, unless it like is directly like.
Are you blocking? You're like, fuck off with that new shit. I don't want to hear it.
You just let it go through your one ear out the other.
He's being
and
facetious.
hope the cauliflower doesn't get in the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you know, it's, yeah, you show up, but like ultimately it's like, all right, cool, we learned that, we did the thing. All right, now I'm just going to do what I'm focused on, right? That's just the way that it ends up being. And like you're still respectful. You listen if there's instruction going on. You don't just go, I don't do that.
I will never listen to you.
Which would be another ego thing, but
it's a balance. I mean, yeah, as to your point, like, yeah, you're getting close to competing, and you are honing in on your game plan, and you're refining it, and you're pressure testing it, and you're conditioning yourself, and usually you're pretty tired and sore from all of that too, from like the build up to this tournament. So yeah, like justifiably, you're pretty locked in on, maybe not like maybe your execution part of your training is still really dialed into what you just what you do within your game for a tournament. And you downshift the let's try to execute all of the new things. Not that you don't practice it, but yeah. Now there are pros and cons to that too.
Yeah. But I guess so now our new friend now, Johnny Jiu-Jitsu, you know, he was paying attention in class and he was listening, picked some things up, and like he's actually able to, because he's in that like knowledge gain and learning phase, that now they might actually be able to take that in, depending on who they are, they might understand the concept that's being taught or whatever, and they're able to, you might be able to like leverage that to help you actually continue to get better without having to do new shit, right? Like this guy might, you know, whatever your game is, he might be able to, one, as a training partner, utilize what he's learning to make it harder for you to do your game so that you have to adapt your game and get better, right? Like, so there, I mean, there's a bunch of different avenues. There's also that they might just be able to explain it to you.
Can I throw in a plot twist to this concept? Yes.
Yes, you may.
I'm going to twist it. These are all really good ways to, this is relevant to the core of what we're talking about, and like ego and learning how to like soak up knowledge from a room of people. But I think these are all really good tactical approaches to, like, let's say like your home base, your headquarters, like with the guys you know really well, and like the guys you to your point, you know, aren't perhaps on that comp program that you're on, but you're like, you know, hey, you're like, hey man, Billy or Johnny or whatever will be really good for me to like talk to when I need to like explore the new thing because I know he's paying attention to it. I would plot twist. This is also a good mindset to have when you go visit other academies too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because that's a really great opportunity. That can be challenging too, because like sometimes, and I have a friend who's doing this recently, kind of going to another academy. He's like, dude, like I'm talking to him before he goes. Like, it's like we're talking about a tournament. He's like, man, these guys are going to come after me. He's like, I think I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm like, I was having fun with it. I was like, nice. Yeah, you should do that. Blah, blah, blah. Like, think about hitting your barabola and blah, blah, these things. It's like, oh, we're going into a tournament. Like, you're
giving him you're building a
yeah, kind of. It's fun. But I say that, and maybe you do that could be an even better opportunity to do the 50-50 thing where it's like, go try to win a few rounds against the unknown guys, but then also like really embrace the opportunity to see this new room and new culture's skill set. I try to do that a lot when I go to, and I've gone to a lot more lately, to a lot of other academies, and you get this, by the way, we're all playing the same sport.
Oh yeah.
So that's the funny thing is all this stuff is like the differences can be minute, although they might feel really, noticeable when you go and you do this, but it's just a great way to get those new looks and see what makes. And if you're going to like you went to another place for a reason, you probably went because you're like, oh, I've heard these guys are pretty good too, and they're allowing me to come train, so like that's really cool. I'm going here for a reason, so I bet there's something to be gained from this. You wouldn't go if there wasn't. So there is something to be gained from it. Like, take that opportunity to like Yeah, if you want to win a few rounds, put on a show a little bit, that's pretty cool. But like also like maybe even downshift that more when you go visit and say, let's do what you guys are really good at. Let's see how I can handle it. And maybe it ends up me getting beat up a little bit. And those maybe someone at that academy, maybe you're gifting someone the opportunity to say, man, I tapped that guy out.
Like, man, I
tapped Scott out. I tapped Mike out. That was pretty cool. And give them a story, guys.
It's also,
but they know too.
It's also a good opportunity, right? Like, and I think this is good too, because questions, like asking questions, because you can ask, they do something, they're doing it really well, and like maybe you're having trouble shutting it down, and you get through that round and be like, hey, dude, like, how are you doing that? What are you doing? And like have them like walk it through, and then you guys can almost like, well, like, what would be your response if I do this? And see what they do. And then what if I do this? And then like you can almost like start reverse engineering this stuff, and you can now you're bouncing it off each other, because he might not think about like, well, what about this? What if I counter with this? It's like, shit, I haven't thought about that.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, all right, well, like let's work through that. And now you're creating like now you're just doing scenario drilling. You guys are troubleshooting together.
Yeah.
And like another thing on questions too, and actually that leads into another way you can learn from your white belts.
Perfect. From the white belts, Mike?
Oh, even your white belts?
No.
Oh, that's right, guys. You can learn from white belts. Where like, and this is actually something that I noticed a long time ago, back in the Nova MMA days. We should have a sound for when we talk about the good old days.
A gong or like an old banjo.
Yeah, like a little rocking chair.
Yeah.
It probably won't happen. I'd have to figure that out. That might be beyond my technical knowledge.
Nah, you could.
But I'll figure it. We have the sound pad. But back in the good old days of Nova MMA, when we were teaching a lot and like kind of figuring it out, but we were teaching a lot, I found out like if I pick something like, all right, we're going to work on this, or like we both would decide like, all right, I feel like we did Kimuras a lot. It's like, all right, we're doing Kimuras, right? Then I have to figure out the Kimura. And now when someone asks me a question, if they ask me a question about it, I have to
demonstrate it and teach it. And
yeah, like and sometimes you don't, and that's okay too. If you don't know an answer, part of the ego thing, be willing to admit you don't know the answer.
Yeah.
But, I might be like, hey, like I don't have an answer for you today. Now I have to go figure out, I got to go learn something that no one else in the room knows, because they're asking me, right? So like now I've got to attain more knowledge to then be able to answer their question and answer in a way that they understand. So like, hey, does it matter if I have my thumb in or my thumb out? Well, like I got to know, right? Like, well, so I use no thumb in my grips when I do the Kimura. I find that I get better leverage, it's harder for them to break it. And you can use the thumb, but those things still apply, where you might be able to get better leverage because you have you're able to rotate your wrists more and stuff like that. And like being able to explain that to them is going to ultimately means that you've attained the knowledge of it, but you might also have to figure that out and think through it. Like, well, what do I do? And then now you have to understand what your game is, how you do those things, and how you get better at that. And that's going to help both sides of that question get better. Just like at the open mat or at this other gym, when you're troubleshooting their stuff, you asking them the question makes you better, but it also makes them have to be better at the thing they're doing, right? Like they're going to become better by answering those questions. Which is a big part of this. Like that's pretty deep in the core of like learning from the entire room is if you guys can sit there and ask each other questions to whoever might be good at something, it's going to help a lot.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
it's back to what we said earlier, like just learning and growth. Give yourself a goal that makes you learn and grow all the time, not a goal that is so easy to attain that you don't feel the need to do these things. It's just kind of like it cheapens things for you and for everyone else.
Yeah, and like it kind of goes back to episode 65.
Callback.
Yeah, callback. I mean, actually, probably even 64, but
and everything before that,
and probably everything before that. But like it goes back to those episodes where why are you training? Episode 65. Like how do you measure your progress? That was 64. Like how to unstick your progression. Like episode 65, you know why you're doing this. That creates your motivation. Episode 64, like how do you get unstuck? Like these things all go together.
They apply, guys.
These things for a reason. All go together.
We speak for a reason.
But if you know why you're doing it, it makes it more exciting. One, but also it kind of helps you understand like, hey, I'm doing this to get better. Well, that means I should probably be getting better. I should
try to get better.
Not just be okay with where I am now and beating I should still be trying to get better. Yeah.
I'll never be better than this.
And if that's the case, then like maybe you need to figure out a different reason or be knack and be the best at 3 other sports.
Yeah, for real. Well, there's the thread of like this continuing to challenge yourself so that you get more. It's like what I said earlier. It's like this. There's too much in one life to learn from this martial art or any martial art for that matter. And so, if the people who are like truly passionate about it, they'll have that like student constant growth mindset through the end of their days. Hopefully, like you ask like the dudes who've been doing this for like 40, 50, 60 years, they'll tell you the same thing. They're still seeing new stuff. Like it's cool. Like, this stuff is amazing. Like you're not done with it yet. I promise that.
Yeah, it never is. What
There's always another mountain to climb.
And what do they say when you get your black belt? They tell you the journey has
just begun.
Yeah, that's what they tell you.
Yeah, don't quit. Learning, man.
Yeah, you always keep learning. Which all the more reason, like when it comes to actually like getting better, training, like just throw the hierarchy of jiu-jitsu outside the window. Like
you're still
honestly,
gonna be a black belt if you get tapped out. Like and like I said, maybe you made someone's day. Maybe deep down, like I didn't have to tap out. I didn't even have to be there.
It was fun. I just tapped to make him feel better.
Well, I didn't want my leg to get broken,
Yeah.
but I didn't have to have my leg in that position to begin with. But like, who cares, man? And then that dude gets to go out and tell everyone. He's just hilarious too. That's his ego journey.
I tapped out Scott Dance today.
Yeah. I promise you, there are people out there who.
And then the story gets bigger and better, and they're like, dude, he cried. He was holding back tears.
I promise I didn't cry.
Didn't cry.
I did not cry.
But yeah, I mean, like,
took it like a man.
And honestly, if like anything in recent years and recent events is like showing anything, like really the hierarchy in jiu-jitsu is really just, it doesn't matter. Just get rid of it. It's not helpful outside of just like a minimal amount of showing of progression, right? Like outside of that, don't worry about it. Like people can be better with,
don't sweat
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The guy at the bottom can be better at something than the guy at the top. It's possible. And yeah, one more thing before we move on to our segment, which is be excited, guys. I have a great story for you. But
I don't even know this story, guys.
Yeah,
Mike's going to surprise me.
You're going to like it.
And if you have ideas for stories and you have ideas that you want to share, guys, go to fdcpodcast.com and give us some notes. You can submit comments. I think you can submit like audio questions, right?
Oh, you can. So yeah, www.fdcpodcast.com. You can hop on there. You can actually drop us. We're just going to go to the segment.
All right, good.
Yeah, this will be good. But you can go to www.fdcpodcast.com. There's a form, so you can do like a contact us form where you can just submit questions through there. You can also, leave us voicemails, which I'm super excited about. And I will, if you leave us a voicemail, I will figure out how to play it and get it on the show. I will have to figure out how to do it.
All right. How hard could it be?
And it can't be that hard. It's just something I'd have to figure out how to get it to record. It might just be through my phone into the microphone.
Big deal.
Who knows? But we'll get you on the show. So, be as anonymous as you need to, but please tell us your belt rank.
Oh yeah, that's good.
That's so. At a minimum, tell us your belt rank when you leave a
first-time
voicemail.
caller, long-time listener.
You don't
the same guy.
You can give a fake name. I don't care, but
I would love that if it's the same person every time, saying first-time caller, long-time listener. New name every single time.
Yeah, my name's
same guy.
Johnny. My name's Bill, but same belt rank,
same voice,
same voice.
Yeah, I can't wait.
But yeah, so we're gonna be starting this new segment. It's called Combat Confessions.
Oh man!
So we'll be pulling from comments. We'll be pulling from the internet, Reddit, Instagram, wherever.
You name it.
We'll be finding for this segment
weird shit out there,
things that happen to people.
You got something, man? I want to hear it.
Bad. I got something good.
All right, bring
you
it.
Actually, I did send you this one, but it's too good to. Okay. It's too good not to share.
Read it.
Let me pull it up. All right, this one is from Reddit, which is how I spend most of my. This is how I consume jiu-jitsu content outside of other podcasts. I think there's a guy at Open Mat who only trains choke defense. There's a guy who shows up to open mats at my gym. I don't know his name, he doesn't know mine, and honestly, I think he prefers it that way. Sometimes after class, we do group photos and he disappears before anyone can ask him to join. I'm not even fully convinced he trains here. Every time we roll, he immediately gives up position so you can lock up a rear cross collar or some other choke. He'll hand fight for maybe 2 seconds and just sit there and let you work. I've watched him do this with multiple people in the same round rotation. The weird part is this dude has an absolutely ridiculous neck. He looks like a cross between John Danaher and Uncle Fester. You'll have a fully locked choke, and meanwhile, he's staring directly into your soul like you are the one getting tested, while calmly telling you to keep going.
Weird.
One time, he walked up to me before class with absolutely no introduction and told me about a black belt who held a choke on him until the timer saved him. He sounded genuinely disappointed.
Oh.
I honestly can't tell if this man is developing elite choke defense or if I'm accidentally participating in some secret underground Danaher training method.
Oh.
I don't think you're participating in a secret training method. I'm pretty sure that you're participating in this dude's choke fetish.
Asphyxiation.
Which one of the dudes said, one guy said it's not a Danaher method, it's a Carradine method.
That's funny.
So
wow.
So yeah, that was actually the one that gave me the idea for this segment. Cool. Because yeah, that's just wild. Like that's in the words of Dennis Reynolds, fetish shit.
That is fetish shit.
Yeah. So like this guy is showing up to an open mat. Apparently, it's the only time he shows up at this gym. It's just letting dudes choke the shit out of him.
Unsuccessfully, allegedly.
Well, levels of successes can be measured in different ways.
It's true.
That
is true.
But yeah, he's showing him. He's bragging about or I guess he's seems disappointed that he didn't get choked out in one of these instances. So I don't know, what?
Well, that's funny. Yeah, the whole thing's silly. Thank you, Reddit. But yeah, I mean, this guy's kind of hilarious in my opinion. It's an open mat, I guess, and you got a visitor coming through with one train of thought, day in, day out. He doesn't take any pictures. He just leaves. It's so funny. It's legendary if it's true.
Shows up, just lets people choke him, and floats off in the wind.
Yeah. I mean, I promise he can be choked. He's a human being.
Oh, he just likes
whoever's submitting the guy submitting the question, kind of complaining about how he can't choke him, I guess, and he has a problem with this, I suppose. Or she's just like, "Is this weird? Internet? Is this weird?"
I guess. Well, actually, that's actually an interesting twist on this. I was purely thinking of it definitely seems like this guy likes being choked.
Yes, that's another way we could take it.
We are participating in
his fetish.
However, maybe this guy who's writing this actually just sucks at chokes.
What if he's the guy? What if he's what if it's actually me? He's like, he's just sharing his freak shit on the
He's
internet.
like, isn't this guy so weird? And that's actually his second fetish. He's self-deprecating on the internet.
It's like a weird voyeurism. Yeah, okay. I don't know what to make of it. It's funny. Okay. Yeah, figure it out. Figure out how to choke him because he can be choked. It's like if it bleeds, we can kill it from Predator. Dude, he can be choked. Promise that. And maybe this man yearns for that day where he finally gets choked out. And he's like, that's what I came for. And then he never shows up again. He just disappears like a phantom. I don't know.
Shows up the following
Or goes
Saturday.
to the next, goes to a different open mat, and he's like, all right, I did it. They got me. That was awesome. That was what I wanted.
Do you think he goes like multiple times a day?
I guess. I mean, that dude says he doesn't. Oh yeah, maybe
he's hopping to different places.
I guess if he's unchokeable, he's not a complete novice.
I do like his ideas, like that it's just some weird training method of, it's like, no, dude, like you can't train. I mean, like you can, but like if you're just letting people choke you, like you either are getting choked or you're not getting choked. It's not like you can like
he's not getting choked if the story is accurate.
Willpower your way out of it, right?
He's doing something to disrupt the choke, and like it is a weird training method. That's the thing. If this is true, which it probably isn't, but if it's true, then this guy has cultivated his own weird fetish niche of training where he's like, I just want everyone to try to choke me. That guy's definitely on some weird freak shit, but whatever.
It's probably a mix of all of these things, right? Like this dude's, I mean, we won't get to the bottom of this, but we'll give you our opinion.
Reddit, yeah.
I mean, like surface level, yes. I still think it's fetish shit.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm starting to think that this guy is actually just not good enough at chokes, and like this is his experience against this guy. Like maybe other people are, like the guy is actively like into this, getting choked.
Yeah.
And other people actually are successfully getting him to tap, but the guy who wrote this can't, and he's a little upset.
It reads that way. It reads that way. Because you don't believe this guy would do this. Anyone else? Comment if you can't choke someone. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I don't know.
He's whining a little bit.
I think there's a little bit of whining. You guys let us know what you think about that. Like, is this fetish shit? Does this guy suck at choking people? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Give us a shout. Let us know what you think.
Are you this? If the choke guy is listening,
have you run into this person?
Yeah.
Is this guy in your city?
Have you
Let us know where he is.
Yeah.
Give us more information on him. I would like to know.
No.
Actually, there's a guy at my gym who likes to choke people. It's a running joke. He's not actually, I don't know. Maybe he does. I don't know if he has like an actual like choking other people fetish. It's the part of the sport, right?
Unclear.
But
yes, it's part of the
when I read this story, we have been messing with him that like this is his soulmate, right? Like those two are made for each other.
The immovable object meets the unstoppable force.
It's like, dude, you like to choke people, and he likes to be choked. You guys are a match made in heaven,
best
man.
Friends.
You guys should hang out. You should train together. Yeah. But so, I mean, I can do another one, but I think keeping it to one makes it more exciting.
Ooh, so exciting.
If we had video, there's one that I would just show you guys, but we don't. I might have to put the Danaher out. The Danaher
that could be a post.
Curb stomp instructional. Might have to add that to something. Might have to show you guys that one at some point. But so that was Combat Confessions, and that was Fires Drinking Coffee, guys. Thank you for listening. I hope that you got something out of it, and that helps you guys get through some training. Sorry, I'm flipping my notebook there. But I hope that helps you guys understand and check your ego at the door, and really what that means. I mean, it's not about what, I don't know, people try to tell you it's about. Use it to learn. It's really like, if you check your ego at the door and allow yourself to be vulnerable, on the mats.
Maybe you get choked out by someone from time to time. Maybe you allow someone's choking fetish to manifest on you.
Maybe that's happening, and it'll help you get better. Ask questions. That'll help you get better too. Like, ask questions, answer questions. Ultimately, like, that's really a big part of learning. Be willing to learn from everyone in the room. It'll help you guys out a lot. And if you enjoyed the show, number one, go to our website, www.fdcpodcast.com. Drop us some notes. You might even end up on a Combat Confessions if you have a good story for us. Leave us a voicemail, drop a review on there, and also drop reviews if you're listening to this on some other pod catcher, I guess is what they call them.
Podcatcher.
On your podcast apps. Drop your review on there. Hit that subscribe button. Keep going, guys. We appreciate you. And I guess last the last little bit of housekeeping here. If you've heard us talk about him on the show, old Asim Fayez from Nova Barbell Club. If you are looking for, or if you're curious about getting into and stepping up your strength and conditioning game for jiu-jitsu, you can hop on their website, use the code I love coffee, all caps. I think it matters. I don't know. But I love coffee. It'll give you 50% off your first month, and that will get you started. And I mean, honestly, guys, it makes a huge difference. 50% off is a good deal too. We both use him. We don't get a kickback for this. We just believe in it. So we hope you guys give him a shot and hope that elevates your game, makes you better. And on that note, bye.
Peace.